in verse 14 through 20 in Matthew 5, it says, "You're the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor does anyone light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on the lampstand. And it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who's in heaven. Do not think I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke shall pass from the law until all is accomplished. Whoever then annuls one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever keeps and teaches them, he shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say to you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven." All right. It is an extremely important passage. This particular passage is one I've seen pastors twist like a Twizzler, and it breaks my heart because it's pretty blatant, to be honest with you. But that, again, that assumes you understand the Old Testament and what's promised to you. But if you don't, people try to twist this in all kinds of funky ways. So let's look at some of the words in here. We already defined your light, right? What is the light? Proverbs 6:23. It's Torah. It's the instructions of God. It's the light that Yeshua exemplified because he's the Word made flesh. He's perfectly obedient. That's what you need to let shine, is your obedience to his commandments. Yeshua then goes on to say, "Do not think I came to abolish the law and the prophets." Why? Because he's literally walking them out and teaching you about them. So why would he abolish them? But to fulfill. And that is not a word that means to fulfill as in he did it so now no one else has to do it. No, he just means I come to show you how to do it. You need to do it too. That's why he just finished telling you, let your light shine. So that they may what? See your good works? Yes, that's exactly right. See your obedience to the commandments. So that they may see your lip service to God? No. So that they may see your works, your good works. This is what Yeshua, our teacher, our Messiah, is instructing us to show and do the commandments of God. And you get those from the law and the prophet, which is why he, for whatever reason, felt obliged to tell the crowd he's speaking to, I didn't come to abolish the law and the prophets. No, I came to fulfill them, to show you how to do them, because he just told you to do them in the previous verse. It says, "For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not the smallest letter or stroke shall pass from the law until all is accomplished." Well, guys, think about this. The law and the prophets is the context of what he just said. In the law and in the prophet, both of them. I mean, the prophets exemplify the law, and the instructions of God are intermingled with prophecy everywhere. You've got all kinds of prophecy about the second coming of Christ and the millennial reign. And it's replete. It's everywhere. It's filled up. It's all mixed together. It's God's beautiful design, right? Because he wants to encourage you as he instructs you on changing your behavior. So he gives you good behavior, and then he peppers it in with the reward, the blessing, which is the kingdom, which is at the second coming, which is heaven and earth will not pass away until all is accomplished. Because the kingdom is literally inside the boundaries of heaven and earth. Because if we understand Genesis 1, then we know that heaven and earth have real definitions. This is not just a term that people throw around. Heaven is an actual structure. It was actually made of a substance called the firmament, or the rakia in the Hebrew. But it's literally a structure that encompasses all of creation. And we live on one of the levels of it. It's called earth. None of that's going away because our inheritance is inside that. The meek inherit the earth, right? It's one of the verses that we just skipped over to get to verse 14. So, of course, Yeshua, if you understand Genesis 1, you'll never be able to twist this passage and say, well, heaven and earth has passed away, because he was talking about AD 70 when he talked about the powers of the nations that were ruling over Jerusalem, and then they burned the land and scattered them from it. So, no, it's preterism, guys, and that's twisting like a Twizzler the actual scriptures, right? So that you wouldn't be able to say that once you understand what heaven and earth is according to its biblical definitions in Genesis. It's like I said before, the kingdom of God. Understand that message requires understanding how the Bible describes creation. And it's described as an actual structure that has concrete terms, definitions, and it's used all throughout the rest of the story. So this is why the law and the prophets will always, the instruction given to God through the law, through the prophets to us, the instructions of the law, right, to the commandments, which is the behavior of God. None of that's going to go away until all is accomplished. And even once it's all accomplished, you'll forever have that on your hearts. so that you always do it faithfully. We'll go over the scriptures here in a minute. So it's technically really never going away, right? So all that prophecy about the second coming, about the millennial reign, everything, all that stuff, that none of that's been accomplished yet. So in the actual passage, it says that not even the smallest letter or stroke is going to pass away from the law until all is accomplished. There's a lot left to be accomplished. The law still applies as it applies to you, right? If you're a man, then all the laws that apply to women don't apply to you. It's not overwhelming. It's very logical. This breaks down very easily. If you're a father, there's laws that apply to you. You see what I'm saying? It's very simple. If you're a business owner, there's laws that apply to you. It's literally your manual, your guidebook of the Father's behavior to help you get through this life in a positive way. So this is why Yeshua comes along talking about the people he's preaching this message to were sitting in darkness because they had bad teaching. He comes to bring them actual good teaching and says that he's going to break, as in Isaiah 9:4, he's going to take the yoke of burden off of their shoulders. Bad doctrine is a yoke of burden. Good doctrine is light, is easy. And that's what he's trying to help them understand and help them have. He's trying to get them back to doing the commandments, to the actual behavior of God, so that they can have a light yoke and be blessed in their life. So this is why he then goes on to say that their righteousness must surpass that of the scribes and the Pharisees, because the scribes and the Pharisees were teaching them that bad doctrine, which was oppressive yoke. So righteousness is, you're considered right in the sight of God if you're doing his behaviors. Deuteronomy 6:25, we'll go over the verse in just a minute. So this is why this is not an impossible statement. And I've heard so many preachers try to say that verse 20 is an impossible statement. No one can have the righteousness. See that you can't have righteousness better than the scribes and Pharisees. Yes, you can. You need to learn who the scribes and Pharisees were in the days of Jesus. These were guys not doing the commandments. They were not doing the Torah. They were making it null according to their traditions and their that they were superseding over the commandments of God. They're being reprimanded for it. Mark 7 and Matthew 23. So the righteousness that Yeshua is calling everybody to is just simply saying, do the behavior of the Father, and you're considered right in his eyes. And you will surpass that of the scribes and the Pharisees, because those were the bad guys teaching bad doctrine. It's very simple. It's very simple, guys. We just have to take the meanings of these words as they're given to us in the Old Testament.